Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara and today we're going to be looking at Venus in Aquarius. So very excited to be getting into the final air sign of the Venus sign series and the final sign actually of the series. So this video is for you if your Venus is in the sign of Aquarius, and if you're a cross watcher, welcome as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. There's so much to say, where to even start with Venus in Aquarius. So first of all of the air signs do need a mental connection, an intellectual connection to actually connect with people. That's the whole thing here, and especially Venus in Aquarius. Now keep in mind that Aquarius energy is very much ahead of their time. They're going to be very much forward thinking. They're going to be up here in the ethers. Sometimes you guys might feel like you're not even understood with what you're saying. It's because you're ahead of your time. That's the thing with the Aquarius energy. It's very much ahead of their time. I always suggest for people who do have displacement Aquarius energy in general in their natal chart to write down their ideas, because for you guys, a lot of your ideas are going to come into fruition in the future. It's like sometimes you put things out there and it's like it's not the time yet, because also keep in mind sometimes that Venus energy can also deal with your indulgences in life, your pleasures, the areas where you enjoy, and it can sometimes deal with how you guys make money, because Venus is connected to the indulgence of money as well. So for you guys, when you have Venus in Aquarius, it's like sometimes you have these ideas of things to do and it's like there might be an energy of not necessarily disappointed, it's just like defeated sometimes, because it's like I said these things and it's not taking off and people aren't getting it, and it's like what's the point? But it's like there's always a point, because sometimes you have to speak things into the ethers and it's floating around energetically when it's been spoken, if that makes sense. And then sometimes someone walks through and they actually catch that, but it's going to help them at a later time. I'm sure you guys are going to catch my drift if you have Venus in Aquarius, because you guys are always going to be channeling through that mind. You're always going to have ideas for absolutely everything. And it's like for this reason, you guys were looking for a love to fit this. That's the thing. And it's like the Aquarius energy, yes, can come off detached sometimes, absolutely. But it's like because you guys aren't overly emotional, obviously depends on the rest of your natal chart. And it's like, it doesn't mean that you don't love the person. It's like you want to know what's going on up here with the person. And keep in mind also, it's like emotions do come from thoughts, right? Because it's like we think about something so much that we add emotional energy to it. So that's kind of how it works for you guys. It's like you're very futuristic in the sense you're going to be very unconventional. You guys aren't going to want to be placed into a box. You guys are never going to want your relationship to be placed in a box. You guys might refrain from labels. I mean, this really depends on the rest of your natal chart, but you guys might not be interested in that, because it's like for you guys, you have to think about it as like a futuristic type of love is really what that is. I might even name the video that. It's like, what is a futuristic type of love? We're all free, we're all able to express. You have a lot of trust in this person. You have to think about it in that sense when you're looking at Venus and Aquarius, and this is what you guys are like, is really what it is. It's very ET energy, especially when I tap into it. It's like, how do ETs operate? I mean, we don't actually know. I mean, all I can tell you guys is what I'm tapping into right now, and it's like they're very free. It's all loving. Everyone is love, is really what that is. And it's almost like there's this energy of unconditional love, because keep in mind, we do go through secondary progressions out of Aquarius. You guys do eventually go into the Pisces energy, where it's like that energy of unconditional love. So this is really what you guys are looking for. You're looking for that person where it's like you're going to accept them wholly and freely and openly, and you want them to do the same for you. You're going to want to know everything about a person, what makes you strange, what makes you tick. It's like behind closed doors, we are all a little bit freaky, we're all a little bit quirky, we're all a little bit strange, right? So it's like you really want to know these things about a person. You want to know what makes that person when you guys are dating. And that's going to be really important for you guys. And it's like if you guys are dealing with like fake people, because also one thing to keep in mind as well with the Aquarius energy, it's like you guys are the final air sign. So it's like not only are you the final air sign, you're the 11th house. So it's like you have all of the preceding air signs knowledge in there, and you have all of the preceding houses energy going on in there. So it's like there's a maturity to this energy. There's a maturity to this love when you guys do have Venus in Aquarius. And also because you guys are the 11th house, it's like you guys might connect with a lot of people. You might have a lot of friends, but it's like, this is why sometimes that Aquarius energy feels detached, because it's like they feel like people aren't really themselves. I think that's really the biggest thing here, especially in the society that we're living in. People put on a lot of different faces to fit a lot of different scenarios, and it's just like they're not being who they truly are. And it's like the Venus and Aquarius person can see this. You guys have this intuition to you. You guys have this wisdom to you. You guys can see through a person. So it's like right off the bat, you guys are going to know with people. It's like, what direction can this relationship go in? Okay, I don't think this person has a lot of depth to them, but it's not necessarily just depth. It's not like, this person is one-dimensional. It's just like, again, I want to know who you are as a person, like what makes you tick, what makes you different, and what makes you unique. This is really what's going to captivate that Venus in Aquarius. They want to be different, but they also want their relationship to be different, and they want to be with different people. So it's like, again, because it is that mature energy, and it's like you guys carry a lot of wisdom, you guys are going to connect with a lot of people. It's still an air sign at the end of the day. We go out of Gemini, super social, into Libra, also pretty social, and then Aquarius is all about friends and groups of people, but it's like there's a maturity there. You know what I mean? If we look at elderly people in our society, right, they're quiet because it's like there's a maturity there. There's a maturity in the silence. There's a maturity in just allowing things to be. That's the thing with this energy. It's going to be very spiritual as well, where it's like they do believe in things happening as they're meant to be. And it's like if a person's not meant to be in your life anymore, you're okay with letting them go. That's kind of like that mature energy. And I think because the way society has been built, especially in terms of movies and like the way that we see relationships, like on a screen, relationships are always like so intense and dramatic, and I love you and I hate you and I love you and I want to be together, but we can't be together. And like the Venus and Aquarius person isn't about this, you know? And it's like you guys have that wisdom where it's like, okay, if we're not meant to be, we're not meant to be. If we're meant to be, we're gonna end up together in the future. You guys allow people, you know. For one of the previous videos I did, I don't remember which Venus sign it was, but I used an example that I learned a long time ago that I always think about, especially in terms of relationships. And it's like, it's about the dove in the hand. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that metaphor. And basically like the way the story goes is like the dove is so beautiful that the human wants to hold on to the dove and be like, oh my gosh, this is my dove. And, you know, they maybe want to take it into the house and have it, you know, just there to look at it. But it's like, then the dove can't be the dove, you know, the dove can't be what the dove was meant to be because it's not in its natural elements. You have to allow the dove to fly. So it's kind of like, this is that Aquarius energy. Like even if we look at animals, right? It's like they raise children and then they let those children go, right? The children go off on their own paths. And it's like, it's that type of detached energy. And I think because society has been very different compared to that, they see you guys, the Venus and Aquarius person, and they might think you don't care, you know, because you're not overly, you know, on this person and you don't want to hold on to them and, you know, they need to leave and you're not crying, you're not upset and you're not, I mean, doesn't mean you won't be, but it's like, there's this wisdom to you guys where it's like you guys just allow. That's the thing. That's why you guys move into Pisces, that wisdom energy. When we really look at all the zodiac signs, the earlier signs are more childlike and excited and all these sorts of things. And we get to the final signs and it's like, you've seen things, you know, if you look at life, it's like you see that there's a certain order to life. There's a certain way that things happen, you know, things come and things go, and you guys are okay with that. I think it's because of that. You guys have that detached energy, but it's like, again, people might think that you guys aren't interested in them or that you don't care enough or that you don't love them and all these sorts of things. But it's like, this is almost healthy in a way. If you really think about it, it's just, there's a lot of unhealthy things that have been fed through media, especially, and movies and all these sorts of things with relationships and how they should look like. If we really compare it to this in terms of like what's been fed into like what these things should look like, you guys are unconventional, but it's like, are you guys actually unconventional, or is that the way that it's supposed to be? I don't know. You guys can answer that question for yourselves, but it's like, yeah, it's going to be a very mature type of dynamic. You guys are going to know right away if you're interested in a person. It's going to have to be mental. It's going to have to be intellectual. You guys are going to have to connect over something, some sort of higher mission, some sort of higher goal, some sort of higher purpose. That's the thing here with the Aquarius energy. It's like, the Aquarius person, even in friends, okay, the Venus and Aquarius person, even in friends and friend groups, you guys aren't going to be interested in small talk. That's the thing. It's a very different energy, especially compared to the earlier signs where it's like they can talk about everything with everyone and be friends with everybody. And for you guys, it's like, no, are we going to propel the collective forward? Because the ideal situation for you guys, and I've been saying this for all of the Venus signs, is like the ideal relationship for you guys is a relationship that doesn't have bounds, in the sense where it's like it's not labeled anything. It can be like this and it can be like that, and that person's growing and you're growing, and you know, they accept you unconditionally and you accept them unconditionally, and it's like there's space and you guys are able to be yourselves. That's the thing, because it's like for you guys, the identity is going to be very, very important for you guys to be able to continue being who you guys are, even whether you're in the relationship or whether you're not in the relationship. If you guys attract someone who's like overly into you guys, you know, and like overly trying to hold on to you guys and all these types of things, it's not going to work, because it's that dove, right? The dove wants to fly. The dove flies away. That's the thing here, you guys are going to need a lot of space, and you're going to need someone who understands that, and you're going to need someone who connects with you guys on an intellectual level, and you're going to need someone who's like here for a higher purpose. That's the thing. You guys really feel like you're here for a higher purpose, especially in terms of love. It's almost like a transcendental experience. When you listen to like transcendental meditations and all these sorts of things that are meant to take you into a different dimension, you guys view love this way. It's like it's meant to take you into a different dimension. It's meant to help you guys evolve and expand. It's almost like a tool, if that makes sense. Psychically, I'm seeing like a little, you know, scientist in like a lab and, you know, doing all these like experiments and all these sorts of things behind the scenes. It's very high vibrational, the energy, especially when I tap into it. And it's like, because it's like high vibrational, I think when people meet you guys, they might kind of feel like it's not necessarily an intimidation energy. I think this is why you guys might feel a lot of the time like you don't fit in with people, because it's like it's just a higher vibration. People just aren't used to that vibration. That's the thing. The Aquarius people, Venus and Aquarius, you guys are just ahead of your time energetically, vibrationally, the way you guys think. It's kind of like when you guys are in love and you're looking for a relationship and you guys are looking for that person to spend time with, it's like you guys need it to elevate. That's the thing. You need this love to be used as a tool to elevate, to raise the frequency together as well, but also individually. And it's like, again, you can't have people who don't understand that. You also need someone who's going to have to be on the same level as you in terms of understanding the metaphysical plane and the metaphysical world and the way you guys view things. You know, you guys might not even consciously be thinking like this. You know, you guys might not be consciously aware that this is how you guys view these things, but that's really what it is. You want someone to propel the collective forward. You want someone that you can sit down and discuss ideas and what can we do together and how can we work together to help humanity is really what it is. It's a humanitarian sign. And that's how you guys are going to view love. Now, also when you have this Venus placement, in terms of like indulgence and pleasures and even making money, it's going to be through your ideas. It's going to be through future thinking. It's going to be through helping humanity. Because again, I find that this placement, a lot of the time, it's as if you guys came from the future. You guys have all these ideas that are futuristic because you guys are here to anchor that in this plane to help the collective be propelled forward. Now, one thing I do want to mention also with this sign is like what I've been saying for all of the fixed signs, because Aquarius is a fixed sign. Sometimes you guys might struggle with the ego, especially in relationships. There could be a struggle of this as well, where it's like your ego might get in the way of relationships. You guys are really worried about your individuality. You might not engage with people at all because it's like this placement is very detached that you guys can spend a lot of time on your own is really what it is as well. Same thing with the 12th house, because keep in mind, these are like the spiritual houses. It's like you guys are able to just tap in. You're able to tap into the other planes. So it's like for you guys being on your own is fine. You guys don't fear being on your own. So because of this, there might be a struggle to actually connect. You guys might spend extended periods of time on your own. It's like the lone wolf, even though you guys might be surrounded by a lot of people. That's the whole thing here with this energy. It's kind of like an ironic placement if you think about it, because it does deal with friends and groups of people. You're going to have a lot of people that you're friends with and you're going to connect with a lot of people, but for whatever reason, this energy always feels out of place. And that's why you guys, when you're looking for a relationship, you want someone to understand that aspect of you, to finally be able to relax. When I'm with this person, I'm able to share all of my thoughts and all of my ideas. And it's almost like taking like the collective burden off your shoulders, if that makes sense. It's like that's kind of what you guys are looking for, like that relief energy as well, because you guys can get into your heads and it's like you guys can really start to analyze the world and how can we make the world better, and this is flawed and this is flawed, and you know, again, you could take on this huge burden onto yourselves without even realizing, because you're able to see all these things and you have these ideas and you're like, people aren't seeing them yet. But the thing is, this love is going to be very different. It's going to be very unique. It's going to be unconventional in the sense where it's like you guys might not even be interested in marriage. Doesn't mean you're not going to commit to your person. You guys might be interested in something like a love ceremony or something of that sort, where it's like you guys kind of just do it in your own way. You guys kind of bind the love in your own way. And it's just, again, it's very much ahead of the time. We have to look at what we think the future is going to be like. And energetically, personally, when I tap into it, it's very boundless. You know, it's almost like a love that knows no bounds. It's going to be the most accepting love. When you have Venus and Aquarius, it's going to be the most free love. It's going to be the most attached type of love, where it's like, I'm still here, you know, you can be doing you, but I'm still going to be here. Don't worry. You know, I got you. I really do think that this is where a lot of the collective is actually heading. It's just that you guys are super ahead of your time. So my dear friends, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I do hope you guys did enjoy my Venus and Aquarius video. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.